So I found it very interesting the other day for the Dirge of Cerberus 15th anniversary. The Square Enix on their Twitter put out, I think it was like 3 or 4 or 5 images from Dirge of Cerberus that said, "Have you gathered all the G files or the G project files or whatever it was?" I found it interesting, and I went on Twitter, and some people gave me flack about it. But hey, you know what? It's a thing, and I feel like this is Square Enix saying that this is a thing they are doing. I put out there, I said, hey, you know what happens when you find all the G files, right? I almost said G virus files, but the G project files. You get the secret ending with Genesis from Dirge of Cerberus. That's how you get the secret ending. Or it's one of the qualifiers to get the secret ending. But I've been thinking about the Genesis stuff and how it pertains to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I've really kind of gone back and forth on good guy, bad guy. What if he's a tweener, right? What if he is like gray area? You know, I've said he's going to be chaotic good, but I've been thinking about the character. I've been thinking about the end of Dirge of Cerberus and all these other things going on. So if you haven't seen my other Genesis videos I did, go back and check those out. I did a 2-parter about a month and a half ago, something like that, talking about the character, breaking him down, where I think he's going in Remake, because he's totally going to be in Remake. He is, I'm almost 100% positive he is going to be in Remake now. I mean, I don't feel like with the hints Square Enix is dropping and all that, and you can say, oh, well, they're just doing this or doing that, you know, you're overreacting. No, I'm not overreacting. I am 100% dead set thinking that he is definitely going to be in the remake. I think he's going to be a big catalyst for what's going on. So follow me here. I feel like Genesis still feels like he's a hero, right? I feel like he still thinks he's a hero. And he's doesn't have any nefarious means or anything like that. I feel like Genesis is supposed to be this like guardian for the planet, right? He's supposed to be the sentinel. And by the end of Crisis Core, it's made pretty apparent that, you know, he feels like he was, you know, sent back to be a hero. He's always wanted to be a hero. That's his thing. He was always overshadowed by Sephiroth. So what if they are doing something with Genesis to where he sees the future for humanity, right? He wants to be a hero for the people. I don't really think he cares about being a hero for the planet. He wants to be a sword for the people. I feel like he'll be like a Magneto type of character, right? Where he feels like he's doing right by his people, right? And to hell with everybody else. In this instance, his people would be humanity, right? Because we know that human beings are extinct 500 years into the future. When Red 13 and his pups are running, Midgar's been taken back by the planet. Human beings are wiped out. They're extinct. Whatever. You know, I think it was Kitase or Nomura who confirmed that and saying that the original timeline, which I'm calling now the Prime line, the Final Fantasy VII Prime line, that's what I'm calling it from now on. Because I was thinking the other day, I was like, timeline, the Prime timeline, the Prime whatever, Prime line. Because I feel like it's just time looping over itself. So the Prime line, right? The planet's trying to keep in order. I feel like Genesis sees that. He knows what's coming for humanity. He's been in cahoots with the planet since he's been asleep. He's been in this slumber. He's been out of it. I feel like he is awakening to send the message to Sephiroth at the end of Dirge of Cerberus. Now, I did see that Ataiki Mochi, however you say that name, on Twitter said it translates into something like now we raise the final curtain, or something to that effect, instead of we have much work to do, brother. I prefer we have much work to do, brother, because it's kind of like, it's ominous. It's also kind of ambiguous, right? Who's he talking to? What does he mean? Then he flies off. I feel like, you know, I said there's a possibility he's talking to Zack. Higher probability he's talking to Sephiroth. And I feel like Sephiroth knows everything he knows because Genesis has communicated it to him. Sephiroth has then seen it. I feel like Sephiroth has seen what's going on because of the knowledge that Genesis has given to him. Now, before, I was kind of leaning toward Genesis being like a Orin type character, like a surly type of hero, you know, backing up your party or whatever. Now, I've kind of changed on that a little bit. I still feel like he's going to view himself as a hero, but rather than working for the planet, he's going to be working against the planet's ultimate plan, because at the end of the day, humanity gets wiped out. I feel like he wants to be a guard for that. I feel like he's not going to be a Sephiroth type of villain, right? Sephiroth seems to have it very together. I could see Genesis being chaotic, and I've said before, like if you look at it like comic books, right? If you look at Sephiroth like a Lex Luthor, like has it together, very powerful man, all that kind of stuff. I would view Genesis, or like Darkseid. You can look at Sephiroth like a Darkseid, right? I would look at Genesis like the Joker, right? Now he's not going to be crazy and wild and saying kind of crazy stuff, but unpredictable, like crazy unpredictable, where he pops up, how he interferes, all that kind of stuff. I feel like he is the one, now I feel like he's the one that's given Sephiroth the knowledge that the planet trusted him with. And somehow Sephiroth and Genesis are going to be in cahoots. I feel like they're going to have something going on. Genesis will be the linchpin of everything that is going on. He's going to be the linchpin of everything that's going on. Because I feel like also Genesis always felt like he had a deeper connection to the planet, the live stream, what's going on. And Sephiroth always kind of seemed, even when he was a hero, they portrayed him in Crisis Core, he always seemed cut off from that, right? I think you could read into it that the planet isn't like super accepting of him because they know he was created from the remains of Genova, right? And the ancients within the planet, the Cetra within the planet are like, no, we don't want anything to do with him. We don't be lending him any kind of power. We don't want Sephiroth to have any kind of power over anything or anybody. Genesis, however, does not have that going on, right? Genesis, he does have Genova cells being a Sephiroth, being a member of Soldier, but he is a human, a natural human. Like, he was experimented on, but he's a natural human. I feel like he has a deeper connection to the planet. I feel like the planet's original intent was to use Genesis as a sort of ward, as a sort of sentinel to help protect against the coming storm. But I feel like Genesis is more concerned with being a hero for the people, and he will have the knowledge, and he will have shared that knowledge with Sephiroth, and that is what's going to blow the story open. Now, I know a lot of people are dead set against Genesis having any kind of role in Remake. And look, here's the deal. It's a possibility of being a good character. You could even keep the theater geek poet stuff going on, right? Because he's a big theater guy. He's theatrical, you know. You could keep that, but you play it down. You play it like rugged. You don't play it like, you know, whatever he says. I can't think of the lines he says right now, because honestly, that stuff was the low point of Crisis Core for me. I wasn't into it. I'm not really into the poetic villains. It's not my thing. I like powerful villains. I like powerful villains that step onto the battlefield, take care of shit, wreck stuff, and leave, and have a purpose for doing it. I'm not really into the poetic pretty boy villains. I'm not really into that, right? I get that's why a lot of people did not like Genesis, right? And they dropped a lot of things in there. Genesis was really the root cause of a lot of things that changed, like the Nibelheim incident. They changed that from the original Final Fantasy VII and made it look different in Crisis Core, right? But I feel like the creative team has the right to do that. I feel like that change was welcome for me. Like, Sephiroth had something steering him in the direction of, that. He didn't just happen to find some books in the Shinra lab. He didn't just happen to be like something, a light go off when they're investigating the reactors, like, oh, is this how I was made? Let me research it. He would have already thought this at some point, right? he needed somebody to give him that little push off the edge, right? That little push off the edge. Now, another reason why I liken Genesis to the Joker. Remember in The Dark Knight, if you ever seen The Dark Knight, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, one of the great movies ever made. If that line at the end, Joker's last line, I think it was a Jack Nicholson line too, and I'm paraphrasing here. I think he says like, madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push, you know? Or something to that effect. I can't remember the line exactly. I didn't look it up, but I feel like that is going to be Genesis. He gave Sephiroth just that little push. And now, like, after they're whatever they are now, they're way more powerful than they were in Crisis Core. The both of them are. Genesis is going to be super overpowered. Sephiroth is super overpowered. He is going to continue to give Sephiroth that little push. Now, Sephiroth is still the big bad. He is the big bad of Final Fantasy VII. I'm not saying Genesis is going to be the big bad. I don't want that. I hope that's not the case. But I feel like he could be manipulating things from the shadows in a way, right? I feel like he could be the one pulling the strings. Sephiroth is the most powerful, though. I think Genesis would understand that, though, that Sephiroth, at the end of the day, is going to have final say in whatever goes. But I think he's steering, like Sephiroth is the gun, right? He is the bazooka. And Genesis is just pointing it in a certain direction. Now, eventually, the bazooka is going to start thinking for itself and continue his plan for the black materia, the destruction of the planet. And Genesis won't be able to get in the way of that. At that point, Sephiroth will overpower Genesis. Sephiroth either kills Genesis or Genesis becomes the chaotic good that I envisioned him to be in the remake, right? So once he realizes he's never controlled Sephiroth, he's never been able to control Sephiroth, he's never really been able to manipulate Sephiroth. Sephiroth has used Genesis for his knowledge, for, you know, knowing the direction, because Sephiroth can't communicate with the planet. My theories about Sephiroth, I don't think the planet would let Sephiroth commune with it, because he is a direct descendant of Genova, and the Cetra inside the planet would not let that happen. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, this book says and that book says. I'm just throwing y'all a theory, right? Anything could happen. They're not going to follow those books to a T, right? They're not going to follow those books to a T. They're going to change some things. They're going to write some stuff. They're not going to use, because those books are basically a collection of Nojima's notes, right? And they've already showed they're not going to use all of Nojima's notes. They're going to do their own thing. I feel like this might be the direction they're going with Genesis and Sephiroth. I feel like once Sephiroth is like, I'm done with you, Genesis. Give me all the knowledge you can give me, you know, because I can't commune with the planet myself. I'm not an ancient. I know I'm not a Cetra. I cannot commune with the planet like that, even though I'm stuck in the life stream. My physical body is in the northern crater. It was carried there by the life stream. He cannot manipulate. He cannot control the life stream. He cannot even fool it. It won't commune with him. Because in Crisis Core, you can kind of tell he is closed off. Like he can't commune with the planet like an ancient can. It has nothing to do with him. The planet is communing with Cloud. Sephiroth communes with Cloud in Remake. The planet is communing with Cloud. It's trying to get through to Cloud because Cloud doesn't know what's going on. Aerith does know what's going on. She can openly commune with the planet. Cloud can't, right? So you've got that going on. Sephiroth can't commune with the planet, but he knows things that are going on. How does he know? I think Genesis is filtering him information. I really think Genesis is giving him information. Like communing with his like S-clones. Because he's not... he might not. Well, you know... Well, no. Genesis's body is comatose. Sephiroth's body is comatose in the northern crater. Genesis could be going and speaking to his comatose body, though. That could be happening. But I think he is actually physically communing with the Sephiroth clones. Because anything, it's like a download, right? Anything those clones learn, his main body learns. It's like Bluetooth, right? They're all connected. The whole network is connected. And thus, when the reunion takes place, everything will come together. Genesis will have a role in the reunion as well. I haven't really hammered out what I think that might be yet, but I think, to break it all down, Genesis realizes the direction humanity's going and the planet's plan to eventually let humanity die off. He doesn't want that. He wants to be a hero for the people. He's going to pretend to be like on the planet's side, the planet's sentinel, he's to serve the planet. But really, he's concocting a plan. He brings Sephiroth into that plan because Sephiroth is a part of the time loop. He is a major calamity and part of the time loop. And he is the big thing the planet has to overcome. He's a big deal. And Genesis now is pouring gasoline on what's already a forest fire, right? He's going over with the big helicopters that dump water, but he's just dumping gasoline, right? He's making the fire worse in an effort to change the reality and the course, the path the planet has set for humanity. Now, Sephiroth will realize that Genesis is attempting to just use him to get rid of everything going on with the Whispers. In that respect, Sephiroth will let Genesis continue to feed him information until he feels like Genesis can no longer serve him. He will turn the table on Genesis, basically have a battle with him, probably leave him for dead or almost kill him. Genesis get away, and then he becomes a chaotic good character, an ally of sorts on the power level of Sephiroth, but not part of the party, more of a reluctant guide, because at the end of the day, he is a hero and wants to be recognized as a hero by the people. He can't do that if he has a hand in destroying the planet. So I think that's where Genesis is going to be going. He will be a reluctant guide of sorts, because now that the Whispers are destroyed, Sephiroth would have no further need for Genesis. This game 2 could be the game where, if my theory holds up or is true in any way, which it may not be, I may be totally off base, but if it is, game 2 would be the game where you get that story, right? And I would introduce it in a way where you see Genesis, he's from the shadows, like I said before. I would introduce him in the same exact way. And throughout the game, you kind of find out what happened. The falling out happens directly after game 1. Sephiroth's like, I don't need you anymore. Be gone, or whatever. And Genesis is like, oh shit, what do I do now? What do I do now? So I think that's the direction now. That's where I think Genesis is going to be going, especially Square Enix has been dropping that little tidbit about Genesis, and that made me think about that. I think they would find another thing to put out there for the 15th anniversary of Dirge's Cerberus, but it's not just that one tweet that Square Enix put out. I wouldn't put a whole video out about one little hint tweet, but I've really felt like this for a while. You have to portray Genesis in a villainous way, but he's not a villain. So that's a tricky thing, right? That's a very tricky thing. How do you do that? This is how I would do it. This is how I would do it if I were writing the story, which I'm not, of course. I think this could be close to the direction they go. So anyway, that's the video. If you all dug that, throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. I think I'll do the Final Fantasy VII Remake theory videos every Wednesday. I think I'll put one out every Wednesday for you all. I'm getting back to streaming 5 nights a week on top of my other projects. So if you haven't followed me at twitch.tv/RayKaufman, hit me up over there. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. And you all have a great night. Keep rocking. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. And I'll see you all in the next video.